Welcome to Podcast This Escape. I said that wrong.
Escape.
What's an escape?
Welcome to Podcast This Escape, the podcast where we talk about the escape room that we escaped from in the previous episode of this podcast.
Escape is like what they called the internet in 1989.
We have just netscaped from Aiden's room. That was so much fun. Thank you, Aiden.
That was fun.
Okay. We were saying, I don't know if it made the original episode, but that moment of elf reveal in this episode felt like
Nissa
Puzzle
reveal?
Agent.
Yes, if anyone knows the game Puzzle Agent, then you will know exactly what we mean by a sudden elfish reveal out of
elves.
nowhere to creep everything out. If you don't know Puzzle Agent, we're definitely going to Twitch stream it at some point, and please come watch. It's going to be well worth it.
But I loved it. It was a great moment of because it felt like it was just a very normal sort of room. I was enjoying it.
Yeah,
I
I didn't know
having
this
a lot of
was
fun.
coming.
But a little bit of elf to spice things up is wonderful. What was your inspiration for making this room? What made you decide to do elves in IKEA?
The funny thing is, firstly, the room didn't have any sort of that stuff. And it was just going to be IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't make things work. Why couldn't, the idea of why can't you just get through the plastic and what's going on? What is causing all these puzzles? And I was talking to a friend of mine who spent, I think, a semester abroad in Malmö at the university there. And she talked about all the stories there, and the nissa is very God, which country is it again? the same country as IKEA. Swedish?
Cool. Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds
Swedish.
like it.
And Mama is in it's sort of you fly to the other country because that's the closest airport, but yes, it's Swedish. We started talking about that kind of culture, and I realized it would be a great thing to have that in. So I decided to put the nissa in there, and actually, there's a fair bit of backstory that I didn't really use in the room. But the whole backstory is that the nissa, trying to modernize, set up this furniture store, which may or may not be IKEA.
I love it.
And that's management. The whole upper part of IKEA is all nissa.
It makes sense. And yeah, I mean, again, when you look at how the Oompa Loompas did in the 60s, 70s, I don't know when the book was written there.
Fair.
It clearly shows that behind the scenes tiny people is the way of the
It's a
future.
winning formula.
It is how you build a good business.
I really liked it.
In this case, it's not a human being the boss. It's the nissa being the boss.
That's true.
I think
that's better.
Now, my original thought was then they just worked at night. They're just the elves came out, worked for the human-run business. I like the fact that the little
They are
nissa
the
actually
business.
run the business.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
And it does work because you're absolutely right. While everyone goes, haha, IKEA is a maze, you'll get trapped in it and everything, having active puzzles in it still feels like it needs some sort of reason for that to happen. And yeah, so having these fun dudes all around doing their weird stuff makes sense.
Yeah, it gives you a reason not to just be, why would I be stuck in an IKEA at night? I should just be able to leave. And
Why
it's
can't I not just walk down this hallway?
You tricksy little elves. You little nissa having a fun game. I like that. I think it works really well.
I did also just put a bunch of folklore in there because nissa are really strong.
Ah,
Nice.
gotcha.
So
That's why
that's
they
where that
lifted all
comes
these
from.
pillows.
And originally, if they were helping you, you would leave them a bowl of oats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And I wanted to slightly modernize that because leaving a bowl of oats is a bit unpractical if you're working, but an oat bar works.
Exactly. And also you would have had to add a kitchen and a little stove top or maybe a microwave. I don't know.
It's customary to leave behind a bowl of porridge as gratitude for services rendered.
Yes. Yeah, look, I really like that. I love that as an element. And I liked it as a final song. And it was nice because it made it immediately clear when we first saw that note of we're going to get our bag back. at some point. Like that's the end goal, is to get our bag back, and I liked that it kind of clarified the point of the room while also being the theming, and I thought that was a really nice little moment. I really liked it. We had to backtrack, didn't we? Because we needed to go back with the key. So we definitely needed to go back through both rooms.
And the phone.
Yeah,
and so we definitely needed to go back. It was good. We didn't just abandon that first room afterwards. Is there any octopus connection, or was that just because you like octopuses?
I wanted, because IKEA has like the shark, and
I don't know if I've ever noticed.
Something similar to the shark, but not the shark.
Makes sense. Is it called blahage?
It's called blahage.
I've got one.
Fun. Octopus is class. I
think
love an octopus.
Octopus is better than shark.
I loved having to, like, I liked the. It's never a really kind of super intricate puzzle, but anytime I get to spell something out on a phone, using an old nine digit.
It's a
like
classic
10-digit
that
keypad.
makes you feel good.
Just feels good.
Yeah.
Feels fun.
That
I hadn't
actually
even
has
throwback.
2 answers.
It has 2 answers. What's the other answer?
The other answer is spelling it out in how you use the text. Like pushing a button twice for the second letter on there.
Oh, of course. So pressing like 5 to get the K instead of just 5.
Oh man,
Yes.
you're stretching our memories. I didn't even notice until you were just about to start typing in the numbers. I didn't even realize that the phone had letters on it.
I assumed it
absolutely
would.
should
I hadn't
have.
noticed earlier.
It didn't occur to me. I don't know what my plan
I
was.
will say, I remember the day that my phone had the early form of predictive text, which was being able to just hit the numbers. Like if I wanted to say Kai, to just be able to go 524, and it would suggest the best like version of those things.
I hated it.
I remember that being new
I
on my phone.
remember that
turned
coming
that
in.
off immediately.
Yeah. I didn't have it on my phone. I distinctly remember being in a classroom one day and needing to text someone, so I asked to borrow someone else's phone, and then I tried and I just went, I'm sorry, I can't do this. It was just like the Sex and the City movie moment where she gets handed a smartphone in 2008 and she doesn't know what to do.
That was the original predictive text where it had to
It
try and
was
figure out what you
horrible.
probably meant.
Until you had it yourself, and then
it was
you got
normal.
used to it very quickly. But oh my god, it was a mess the first time.
I had the same thing now with my phone does you can swipe around the keyboard and it
Yeah.
will suggest what it thinks you wanted to do from those swipes. When I first saw that, I was like, "Nah, this is ridiculous. Let me just tap each letter in, please."
Mine has that now, and I can't use it.
I
It
love
doesn't work.
I love I'm a convert.
Nope, it's terrible.
I guess
that
I'm
said,
just not a
my
Luddite
phone,
like
my
you.
phone at the moment, it just wants to capitalize random words for me. Like I just have to shout things, and I don't know why. I don't understand this dictionary even a little bit. Cool.
I have a whole list of like words because I'm dyslexic, like quite dyslexic, and spelling is just not something I'm good at. So
I'm
I've
glad
got
we
all
spent a long
sorts of-
time having you slowly spell stuff out for us then.
No, but then I've got it on my computer, so I can just look and say.
Yeah.
Which is it's fine, but trying to spell words is hard. So I have a whole list on my phone with just like shortcuts. I use a
nice. I
shortcut
like
thing
that.
like NEC. Will immediately spell out necessary for me because I can never remember how to spell that.
That's fair.
That's
That's
fair.
That's a good one.
You know why I know how to spell the word necessary?
Why do you know how to spell the word necessary?
Because when I was in year 5 and year 6, my friends and I would prank each other by writing fake Hogwarts letters to each other. And I, being the only one who cared, would write them out using the exact words that the first Harry Potter book used. And that included, like, please ensure that you show up with all the necessary equipment. And the very first time I tried to write one, I spelled it wrong. And so I had to throw the whole thing out, and I had wasted so much effort on it that it scarred me.
Scarred you for life.
Yep.
You'll never forget.
Never gonna forget based on that.
All right, lovely. I just don't spell it right anytime.
Now, there were a lot of letter-y based puzzles going on in this one, and some numbery ones, or just like letter word puzzles, that sort of things. Like we had the albums with first
the
letters,
album acrostic, and then the door anti-acrostic that we just
letters.
had. I've had it written down the entire time. We
I
even
felt
talked
so
about the last
smart
letters for so
seeing
long.
that those numbers went just from 1 to 8.
And I got that last letter thing immediately.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
we didn't
done,
do anything
got
with it.
And then I assumed we would need to know more.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That could have been our moment. That could have been our shining star moment. And instead it was our shame.
Said, I felt pretty good leaving letters and going to numbers. I felt pretty good about the computer one.
Yes, you getting the computer one was great.
I felt pretty happy. Dare say I almost feel proud.
My playtesters really struggled with that one.
Oh yeah, please tell us tell us about how we differed from playtests.
So I've done 3 playtests. One with my friend who always does my playtests. One with Tom, who was on a few episodes ago.
Yeah, great.
And one with a friend who works at IKEA.
Fun.
Oh, nice. So yeah, was there anything that we got really stuck on that they did not get stuck on, or the other way around?
So the door puzzle, once people made the connection between the numbers and the last letter, they immediately got it.
Oops.
We just didn't. We just got stuck like fools. We had it.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
But everyone went to chronologically the 4th door at first, not door number 4.
Okay, so noticing those final numbers were important. That did do something. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked 496 because it's one of my favorite numbers. It's a perfect number.
Is it?
So perfect numbers are if you add up them, their divisors.
Yeah.
You get to the number itself, and the smallest one is 6, and then 28, and then 496.
Yep. I knew 6 and 28. I did not know 496. That makes sense.
The next one is 8128. And after that, I zone out. But
is there only like one number per number of digits? Like there's only one digit one, a single 2-digit one?
After that, it's like after that, I think it's like 8 digits.
Oh dang! Okay. So yeah, didn't feel phenomenally good about that. I very much enjoyed the translating words into doorknob shape, color, materials. That is very much the sort of thing that has been my sort of puzzle since I was a small child. I've loved that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's languagey. Like there are languages in the real world that do construct words like that. And I'm pretty sure we had to do that in first year linguistics at university. And again, that would have just made me so excited. I can't remember it perfectly, but I loved it so much. So yeah, I was very happy to see that puzzle.
I have a question about that puzzle.
Ooh.
Because one of the things that we didn't need, but that you did supply, was
the materials.
At the bottom, it says Tirano plastic, Lanica wood, Finite wood, Taroka metal. It gives us the materials for the bottom ones, which we didn't need because we could work that out from the top ones. Is there a reason you had that there?
Or is it just for
or is it just for
consistency
consistency
of
of
signs?
labeling?
Because I wanted it to look as a real sign that you might find at IKEA.
Fair.
They do look real.
I could not make them look like the material.
That's
yeah.
That
makes
was
sense.
really difficult. So I decided to just put them in there as a little bit of a nudge as well to find stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like it still worked out really well. We still had to. It's not like it really skipped much of the puzzle. It was just interesting that it was kind of something we could work out, but we didn't need to. But you're right.
Then
it's hard to
we
balance.
still needed to find out like which syllable represented color, which syllable.
Yes, we still need
represented...
to. You're right. We still had to place
So,
them. We practically worked it out.
It like not having them there wouldn't have like upped the difficulty
No, it
substantially
wouldn't have
or
made a huge
anything.
difference.
Like,
I just
we
thought
still
an
need to
interesting
do the
choice.
same amount of work. Yeah.
Is there something that you'd made for this room? Is there like a puzzle here that is your favorite puzzle? Is there one that you're most proud of?
I like
puzzle,
all
maybe,
of
any
them
element.
for very different reasons.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked designing the doorknob puzzle because I wanted a logic puzzle in there, but I wanted a logic puzzle that would make sense in the story, in the narrative.
And you did very well with that. Like that, it fits perfectly.
Yeah, can't argue with that. It worked great.
And then also, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say I am jealous that if I ever do that puzzle, I've stolen it from you.
Oh, you can do that. And I like having, in a room, I like having a meta puzzle where you find information or something
Sure.
around everything. So it's not linear. You can do things in so many different orders, but you need to do all of it to be able to solve the meta puzzle.
That's fair.
Yeah, it works well. It's a very nice puzzle, and it's nice. I love anything that requires like gradual collection. I think is always really satisfying in a room.
Yeah.
Like anytime you're going, oh, I found one of these, or I found two of these, or I found more of these. Like you had a bit of a distressed moment when you realized we needed 5.
However, it was the right kind of
It's a wonderful moment because like, okay, now we know, like we are building towards this.
Yeah.
We're going to get rewards, and those rewards are going to be 2 more doorknobs. And it's a fun feeling because it's just nice to build these things up, and it feels like a really big payoff at the end. Like,
absolutely, it was nice.
It's
I didn't know why we were collecting doorknobs.
No,
we thought it was just from the closet right at the start.
Yeah, we thought we'd need them to like open a closet somewhere. That was my first thought, and then we kept being like, "Oh no, we don't need them, don't need them, don't need them." Like I assumed when we went through the clothes and we were in a closet again, I was like,
we need them to
we're
get
going to
out.
need them to get out from the inside. We're going to need, but no, just kept moving on. So it worked out really well. I really like that puzzle, and you're right. Any room that kind of funnels into one major puzzle is always really satisfying.
It did feel nice.
And this was a very good one.
Yeah, because there's a difference between short-term puzzle satisfaction and long-term puzzle satisfaction, and this is a good way to make sure that you've got both.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. I know you're an artsy person. You did all of the illustrations.
Yeah. So the album covers is actually just artwork that I've done over the years and scanned in.
Oh my god!
Oh, lovely!
No wonder
they're good. They're really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Oh my god! I wouldn't have thought of that.
I think my favorite is Eagles in Government Hero Trouble. Is my favorite of the 4. I quite like it. It reminds me of it's going to a lake in winter, and it's Although
that is a nice
it
feeling.
looks like an Australian winter, so maybe it's going to like in summer for
fun fact, actually, the second one, the manor, is based on a podcast, a tabletop podcast called The Infinite Bad.
Oh, really? I was going to say it reminded me of Waverley Academy from the Nancy games.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, in the first. There's a few campaigns that are sort of play out after each other, and it gets scarier and scarier, and I loved it. That's kind of also my into like tabletop podcasts.
I like the idea of scarier and scarier.
It's very Lovecraftian inspired, and it's very good.
Awesome.
Oh, wonderful.
But like the first episode, the first arc is in a convalescent center after the First World War in an old manor house.
Fun.
They named the manor house, and I looked it up. It's a real manor house, and I painted it from that.
Oh, that's so
from
cool.
the reference pictures.
Nice. What was that podcast name again?
The Infinite Bad.
Easy. I remember that.
Also, it's now part of what's called Definitely Human, and my other favorite quote unquote horror podcast is the Monster Hunters from them, which is like comedy horror. And it's set in the 70s, and it is absolutely like the best kind of awful.
That's excellent. I love it. Yeah, I just wanted to compliment the artwork because, I really enjoyed that. It's always good. I know that I'm never going to be able to create this sort of art for any of my rooms, so it's really good to be able to see other people who can actually do that stuff.
And the fun fact, actually, the doorknob display, the background, is a picture of my floor.
Oh my God. I did notice the background of that and liked it. That's hilarious.
It had a very, that had a very like clip art kind of look, but it's nice
it's
and
real.
It's a real floor.
It looks real. Oh, that's fun.
But no, I really liked it. I loved that final puzzle. It was definitely my favorite moment.
It's a good phone.
The phone is good as well. But no, I really liked it. But the fact that the thing that made me feel smartest and the thing that made me feel dumbest is the same puzzle is ridiculous. I solved it immediately.
You did the hard part.
I've written it out. It says door 4. It's very clear.
I know. I can see it now. Just like the word door, not as much because I wrote my names in a weird place. But look at where I wrote that O and that U. It's perfectly lined up.
Look at mine. It just says the word 4. It's just the most clear.
There.
Just as
4. Yours are a little bit off from each other, so I can see how you might have missed it. But it's embarrassing.
But no, I really liked it. I liked the way it came together. We never used that fishing rod. No, it was.
Yeah, how come we never used that T-Rex plushie?
It was fun. Now I have one. Yeah, actually, that is one question about an object that we didn't use.
What?
Did you just have the chair because you didn't want to have the octopus sitting by itself?
I didn't want the octopus sitting on the floor. Who puts an octopus on the floor?
That's where octopuses live. The floor.
Oh, that's so sad.
Wonderful. Danny, do you have anything else that you wanted to mention? I think we've gushed enough about all of the fun things in this room.
So now we get to the stuff we hated.
Oh, no, it was all very good.
I hate a lot of my drawings.
True.
I like the octopus drawing. I think my octopus was cute.
Here's my map.
Oh, lovely.
That looks like a real map.
Oh, you're saying mine doesn't?
Why is there an angel dog?
Oh, that's a dead frog on riding a key to
heaven.
heaven.
Oh, that's a frog?
It's a dead frog riding a key to heaven.
Why is it a dog?
It's a dog frog. It's a dead dog frog riding a key to heaven. I was also drawing the front of an old car.
I tend to make my own notebooks.
Oh my god!
Oh, fun!
So I put the part of the logo on the front. This is just like I like bullet journal stuff, but I don't like buying bullet journals because 1, it's crappy paper. 2, they're overpriced. And 3, they're usually huge. So, I buy paper at the art store and print my own dots on it and then quickly bind them.
That's clever.
Also, I don't know if you checked Discord this morning, Bill, but...
I saw that you had a binary one.
Yeah, so I made a notebook with, I don't know if you can see it. It's got binary on it.
What? That's wild.
This is my first hardcover that I did in ages. And one person started to translate it.
Does it yeah?
It
yes,
does translate.
Does.
It is a Rickroll.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I should have guessed that.
You know, I mentioned it in an email to you at one point that I like putting Rickrolls in puzzles.
Yeah.
Was there a Rickroll in this room? Did we miss one?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't tend to put them in rooms, but whenever, when I made last year, I made a small puzzle hunt, and the end, turned out to be a Rickroll.
Yeah, getting flashbacks to Jen's last year room where it was a yo dog.
Yes, true. All right, wonderful. Well,
I assume you're going to put Never Gonna Give You Up as the outro to this episode.
No, we don't have the rights, Danny.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine.
All right, wonderful. So,
do you want to hear some more fun facts about things that happened in the playtests?
Oh, yes.
Please, more fun facts would be wonderful.
First of all, 2 of the playtest room turned out to be slightly broken.
Oh, no.
Well, actually, all 3 of them. Because the first room, I discovered that 2 of the doorknobs were the same because I used a random number generator to create the different doorknobs. And it went slightly wrong.
Sure.
And then you didn't actually need the computer. At first, you didn't need the computer to be able to solve the room. And that really bugged me.
Oh.
Because I loved that computer puzzle and it
yeah.
needed to be in there.
Was that just because... So the computer for us hid the voicemail password?
Yeah, so first, the voicemail password was just on the card.
Yeah, sure.
And then I realized you don't actually need... And then you didn't actually need the voicemail because before you had the doorknob with the note in the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I moved that one so you would need the voicemail, therefore you would need the computer.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, you clearly made it work. We didn't have anything broken at all.
No, yeah, it worked out well.
So you made good use of your playtests.
That's exactly what playtests are for.
So my friend who works at IKEA tried to put his own password and log in into the computer.
Love it.
And wanted to know the name of the mattress.
Yeah, fair. Was there anything that your IKEA friend said, oh no, that's not realistic? Or were you spot on? With... Perfect.
No, I was spot on. And then the other one, two of my players took the plushie with them.
Oh,
That's
no.
fair. Why wouldn't you?
Like,
no, I agree. I feel bad that we didn't.
One of them carried the octopus the whole way.
Yeah,
Lovely.
should have worn it on our head.
Then who would have put the bag there? I'm assuming it wasn't the elf, it was actually the octopus coming to life.
Given me a lot to think about.
Yeah. Octopus is the head of sales.
Kai is short for Charlie.
Yeah.
I picked Kai because I didn't want you to have to type in a really long number.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I think that's done. I really enjoyed the
covered
room.
all of it. Yep, had a great time.
I think it was
a
bad
good
I didn't
location.
take the octopus with me.
Yes. Oh
I was
God.
really surprised that IKEA hadn't been done yet.
Yeah,
Fair?
it feels like a classic
I get
setup.
what you mean.
I was standing in the shower one morning. I was like, it's never been in IKEA.
I gotta look at
IKEA.
I gotta look at my
Why
notebook
haven't you done IKEA, Danny?
to see if I've ever written that in my list of maybe ideas. I don't even know where that page is in this notebook anymore. It's been that long.
At one point, I did have a discussion with a friend who wasn't sure if IKEA was in Australia, and I posted that in a Discord. And there was a whole conversation about IKEA. I'm like, is Bill going to remember this?
I mean, no. Nothing made me think, wait a minute.
No, nowhere on my page of room ideas do I have IKEA. Oh my God, I have some weird stuff. I've got to remember this page.
It's good. Just don't read any out. It's spoilers.
No, that's
spoilers
fascinating.
For the future. Do you want to read one out? What's a fascinating one?
Okay, the very last one on the page that I have written here, no plans for it ever, ant nest.
Ooh.
What?
We could do an ant room.
We totally could. I think it would be amazing. When did I come up with this? I love it.
Brilliant. Ant room next season. That
can
be the arc,
this
the
is
ant
my
arc.
old notebook. This must have been months and months ago.
We can do our next connected arc as just playing out scene for scene the movie Ants.
That's wild.
All right. So thank you again, Aiden, for coming on and running that room
so
for us.
much.
It was
a pleasure.
Great fun. If people wanted to find more of you and what you're doing, is there anywhere that they can find you?
Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram under the Ace Magpie, which is also my Discord handle. So if you want to find me in the Discord, that's also there. And I've got a blog/website under the same name, theacemagpie.com, where I talk about puzzles and, well, basically whatever's on my mind.
Brilliant. I will put links to that below. I should remind myself. I don't think sometimes I just say that and I don't do it, but I'll make sure that they're there. Wonderful.
I did not know this.
I mean, not always.
I hope not always.
All right, wonderful. And if people who are listening to this, you've already found us. If you want to hear other stuff that we do, we have another show called Solve This Murder, which you can check out, where I try and solve murder mysteries that Danny creates. We're also on Twitch. We mentioned a few times, I think, in this episode. But we have a Twitch stream where we play lots of puzzle games and other just general games. You can hang out and
every puzzle Nancy drew game, and recently we've completed our first ever totally new playthrough of Myst.
I'm going to call it, by the time this episode comes out, we've also finished Riven.
Ooh. Ooh. No, yeah, this will come out in October. I hope so.
But yeah, so that's a fun place to hang out with us. If you want to chat with us and other
we'll
fans...
have Puzzle Agent up by then.
True. If you want to chat with us and other fans and other members of the community, you can head to our Discord. There's a link below where you can just, hang out and chat and get to and talk about the episodes and all that sort of fun stuff.
Everything puzzly.
We also have a Patreon for people who want to support our network. So for anybody who wants to support all the shows that we make, anybody who donates at any level can appear as an NPC in one of the escape rooms that Danny writes or one of the murder mysteries that Danny writes.
Yeah, if you're a Solve This Murder person, just tell me and you can be a character in that instead.
Yeah. We also have bonus episodes this season. Usually you can get access to all of our playtest audio. We're not doing playtests because we didn't make any rooms this season. But we are doing a sort of super version of podcast This Escape called Remember This Podcast, where we go back to our season 1 and we talk about those rooms.
And because I wrote them a long time ago, we can shred them a little bit.
Yeah. But there's lots of other fun benefits as well. So go check out that if you want to help support the show.
Sorry if anyone is still waiting on badges. We're still in lockdown and can't get stamps.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Danny, for playing with me. And thank you, Aiden, one more time for running the room. All right. Say bye, everybody.
You're back to the Dora the Explorer
bye,
thing.
Bye, everybody.